Spike Lee's latest movie, Highest to Lowest. Spike Lee's latest collaboration with Denzel Washington. I believe this is the 5th collaboration with Denzel. What do we have? We had Mo Better Blues, which is a favorite of mine, one of Spike's movies that I actually enjoyed. We had Malcolm X, of course, which was my favorite Spike Lee film. We'll get into that in a minute. And also one of Denzel's greatest performances of all time. We've got He Got Game, Inside Man, which actually was a really good film because Spike really wasn't the writer. That wasn't like his project. He was just the director of that. But anyway, the collaborations with Denzel and Spike Lee. Now we've got Highest to Lowest, which is a remake of Akira Kurosawa's classic High to Low. So Spike reinterpreted that and did Highest to Lowest. And it is absolutely on the lowest end that you could possibly get on when it comes to a film in general. I wouldn't even say a Spike Lee film. I'm just going to say a film in general. It is at the lowest. We'll get into it next. That Guy Talks Movies. Welcome to That Guy Talks Movies. I'm that guy talking movies. Again, here I am. Been a minute. I did a review on the trailer, or a trailer reaction to this film when I first saw the trailer, and I was kind of excited by it. Denzel doing his thing again, Denzel on screen, Denzel doing his thing with Spike, and kind of excited by it. And then A$AP Rocky was going to be in it. That was a new venture for him after doing all he's doing with Rihanna and making kids and stuff. I was like, no jealousy there, by the way. But I was like, this looks like it could be interesting, and it's this reinterpretation of the Kurosawa film. So let's see what happens. And when it came out, it hit the movie theater, and I went on to, normally I would just go on to AMC. Usually like the week before, I'll set an alert or something for a film to come out, and I know that I want to particularly see that film so I can review it here on my channel. Certain ones I don't want to miss, and I do want to review. This was one of them. This was in the queue to review. I go to get tickets on AMC. Normally, I click on the AMC near me. There's like 2 of them. So I have like options, but there's one in particular that I like to go to. Bear with me for this quick story. I could not find tickets for it. For some reason, it wasn't playing in the theater. I was like, what is this playing nationwide? Is it just going to go on streaming? Why can I not find tickets? Why is it not prominently displayed on the site for a new Spike Lee Denzel Washington movie? It just seems highly unlikely. I tried to find tickets, couldn't find it. Anyway, I gave up. I've been busy. So I gave up, right? It's not like I really, really searched the ends of the earth, but it just seemed odd to me that I couldn't just grab the tickets as I normally do and see it on a Wednesday or a Thursday afternoon before the actual official opening. Anyway, long story short, too late. Couldn't see it. Wound up seeing it streaming last Friday. It actually came on Apple TV, which it was expected to do. So I was like, all right, here's my chance. Let me watch Highest to Lowest, and then I'll do my review. Who cares? No one's waiting for me for this review, but I am going to review it. So I watched it. Watched it with my wife. We sat down Friday night. I was like, we got a movie to watch. I've been looking forward to seeing this. Let's watch it. Probably, I want to say, I don't know if it was 5 minutes, let's say 10, 15 minutes into it, it had already pissed me off. And I looked at my wife, and I just totally, both of us looked at each other like, what is going on here? This film just doesn't work. Now, there's a lot of, I'm going to start with like the few positive things. I should say it's actually one positive thing. The Olympia building in Dumbo. That's my Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, and that's Dumbo, and that's a beautiful condo. It's there, the Olympia, and the penthouse that they use for Denzel for his, his home with his wife and kid is the Olympia building right down there in Dumbo, and it is absolutely breathtaking. I do not like the production design or the way they did the apartment, the penthouse. It just seemed like overbearing and overdone in its sort of thing to Brooklyn and like this character and like the artwork that was in there. It just seemed too put together, like somebody just said, hey, let's try to find a way to make this as Brooklyn as possible and make it about somebody who's in. Like, it just seemed to have not a genuine feel, and it also didn't feel lived in. But I digress. Let's not get into the actual apartment. I just wanted to say that's probably one of the only things I found interesting about the movie was I actually like that location. Dream location. Now, you get into this film a little bit, and there's the whole kidnapping situation, right? The moment that takes place, I look at my wife and I go, you know what we got to watch? We got to watch Ransom. Have you ever seen Ransom? Mel Gibson's Ransom with Rene Russo and Delroy Lindo. And she's like, she's thinking about what she's seen. She doesn't remember. I say, I want to turn this off right now, and I want to watch Ransom. I want to show you Ransom. We got to watch that film. Because this supposed to be a kidnapping drama that goes whatever direction it goes, is nowhere near dramatic. It's just horrible on so many levels. Where do I begin? So Ilfenesh, the wife, the woman, the actress that plays Denzel's wife in this, Ilfenesh Hadira, absolutely terrible. I think an AI actor would have given a much better performance. Same thing with the person who plays his son, Trey King, actor Aubrey Johnson, who plays his, I think, 17 or 18-year-old son in the movie. Denzel plays David King. Jeffrey Wright plays his chauffeur and driver and now his friend. He's somebody who gave a job to. Apparently, this guy had a criminal history, and Denzel must have looked out for him, and now he drives for Denzel. Jeffrey Wright's a fantastic actor, and so is Denzel Washington, great actor. But I think Denzel phones the whole thing in here with a whole lot of Denzel-isms and the whole I just had a stroke look on his face and some smiles and some cheesy grins and stuff. I feel like he just phoned this whole thing in and did a favor for his boy Spike. As for Jeffrey Wright, he worked with what he had to work with, and, you know, it is what it is. There's also an appearance by Wendell Pierce in this, another fine actor, a really great actor who I enjoy immensely, who has a very, just an incredible body of work behind him. And I think he was smart enough to realize, you know what, I'll do this for maybe the 1-2 minutes you want me in this film, and that's exactly what Wendell Pierce did. But anyway, I digress again. Let's get into the actual film. A$AP Rocky is billed in this as being the guy, the bad guy in this film. So apparently, like, the kidnapper, right? That's not a spoiler. That's not a secret. We know that from the trailers. And he's supposed to be in this film, and he plays the guy that does the kidnapping, and it is god awful. It's written so poorly. There's no real sense of threat, right? Whenever you have a situation with a kidnapping or some sort of hijacking or some sort of crime or robbery taking place, you need these people to be really, really badass at what they're doing to put the people that they are victimizing in a really compromised position. You need to really feel the threat. You need to really feel the pain of the people. The parents should feel the pain of their kid being kidnapped. Horrible. This guy, so A$AP Rocky basically plays a rapper, right? I guess ultimately trying to get the attention of David King, Denzel's character, who's the head of a record label. He's playing this character who kidnaps him for money. And the police that be in this, I say the police that be, I don't know, I don't even remember, was it the FBI, Homeland Security, whatever it was. I think it was just a New York Police Department. It might have just been local Brooklyn MTA cops. Because there's no sense of, holy cow, there's a kidnapping going on. We need to really lock things down. We need to figure this out. There's no real plan. It just seems like Denzel and Jeffrey Wright are running the plan. Like, there's no real sense of authority here, which is, again, what made me think of Mel Gibson movie Ransom, where Delroy Lindo comes in with that team and they lock shit down and they get things done, and you can feel the presence there. You can feel they're in control. You can feel what's going on there. In this, it was just like not even real. And then the guy from those insurance commercials, the Mayhem commercials, so Mayhem like me, that guy, Dean Winters, who I don't have anything against, but he was in this and he played one of the cops and he gives a horrible performance. I think he did better in his insurance commercials than he does in this film. There's a scene towards the end where he's chasing one of the guys with supposedly has the money in a backpack on a moped, and he winds up throwing the guy to the ground. And I literally thought it was a comedy scene. Like he either phoned it in on purpose and tried to make it funny. Like he's almost smacking Spike in the face in his performance. That's how bad his performance is. Going back to A$AP Rocky's performance is like a guy on the phone. Most of the movie, he's on the phone, and he's only on the phone a couple times. So there's like no real building pending threat. There is a backstory here when it comes to Denzel trying to buy his record label and reestablish his brand, whatever it is. There's that story. I really didn't feel it so much. I did not get a sense of the moral dilemma and the difficult decisions that Denzel had to make here in terms of, you know, because there's a mix up with, well, it's Jeffrey Wright's son who got kidnapped by mistake because they thought it was Denzel Washington's son. And so he's got to come up with these $17 million, but should he do it? It's not his son anymore. So there's some difficult dilemmas there because he needs the money for other things. I didn't feel it played out very, very well. There's also the horrible use of score and music in this. For whatever reason, Spike attempted to do this. I mean, he's done it in other films, but here he does it terribly. It's not executed well. The music plays throughout the entire thing. I don't think there's a moment of silence. It's just a constant score going. I know that Scorsese does this pretty well, and Spike has done it in the past, but he's done it in films where there wasn't as much need for like dramatic tension per se, right? It was more lighter films. So in this case, this kidnapping film, this music, this score of sort of like jazzy, upbeat, kind of friendly music going on throughout the whole thing, even through action scenes, was just totally off. It didn't make any real sense. Going back to A$AP Rocky, again, terrible performance. Everything this kid said, it just sounded like you took a 10-year-old from the street and said, hey, do me a favor, read these lines into a phone. And it was so over dramatized, trying to be this rapper who's from the hood and is, suffer. Like it was cringeworthy, absolutely cringeworthy. And I'm saying that because when I first thought about the film, when I first saw the trailer, I'm thinking, okay, it's a new territory for A$AP Rocky. Perhaps he'll give a good performance. I wasn't expecting much from him, but I also, you never know. You could be pleasantly surprised. Maybe his next stint is going in the film and he's got some natural talent. Not the case. Not the case at all. He was so bad. Among all the other things in this film that stand out as terrible, he just up here, okay? So there's that. On top of which, the actual screen time that Denzel and A$AP Rocky spend on screen together when they actually finally do, I guess, confront one another, they're not even on screen. This is pure film trickery. Now, I maybe go back and watch it again, but I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, the scene in the police station at the end, they're sitting and there's glass between the two of them talking. Spoiler, I don't really care, okay? They're not in the same scene. That was filmed separately. And that's probably Denzel who said, I'm not doing these scenes. This is written so poorly. I'm doing you a favor, but I'm not about to go through the motion of having to film this with it. I just don't think Denzel Washington and A$AP Rocky were actually in the same space when this was filmed. Call that a production budget thing. I don't know what it was, but they were not in the same space. And then there's a scene where they confront each other for the first time, and it's in a music studio. And I don't think they were actually shot in the same. I don't think it was done that way. I think they were individually shot from different perspectives, and that's what took place. It is so bad, the dialogue. It is so trite. It is so overperformed by A$AP Rocky that it's just distracting and cringe-worthy. I say it again, cringe-worthy, just bad. And then again, the actual drama, the actual logistics of it also don't work, right? So even if you have a film, it doesn't need to be a Scorsese picture. It doesn't need to be this intricate plot and all these it doesn't need to be the level of that, right? But at the same point, there's a kidnapping and there's money going to be exchanged. We're talking 17 million plus worth of Swiss franc, whatever denomination or how he wanted it bagged up. The kidnapper is going to do they're going to do the drop, and he gets on the subway, Denzel, with the money. And it's like they didn't have fake money. They didn't have some sort of second plan. They didn't have anything. And they had Denzel actually deliver money. There was no real sense of real SWAT or FBI or someone. I don't know how that gets handled, but I would imagine it's not just MTA cops who handle kidnappings, especially high profile figures like Denzel plays in this movie. So logistically, it was just stupid. It was almost as if the cops weren't called and your neighbor's kid got kidnapped and they decided to handle it all on their own. And that's it. And they went out with some random cheap guy who's making phone calls. Yeah, you gonna give me the money. Yeah, man, you gonna do this. It was so bad. There was no threat. There was no real orchestration to this. It was a terrible film. I could not believe how bad it was. I could not believe it. When it comes to Spike Lee is not a great, I could say this, he's not consistently a great filmmaker. I don't think he deserves a title of, oh my God, he's just not that dude. He's done a couple of movies where you're like, great. He's definitely considered an auteur filmmaker because he does have his own style. He's got his own look. Spike was Spike back in the day. He happened to be part of a generation of filmmakers, specifically black filmmakers, that made his mark and his stamp on Hollywood. And he had a political perspective that made sense, especially for the black community. And he told stories that resonated with that community. And we felt good with Spike Lee. He had a quirkiness about him, and he has his own style, his visual style. I get it. But as far as being a spectacular, extraordinary filmmaker, I won't go that far because he's had some serious misses, and this is probably the worst of them all. Forget about a Spike Lee film, as I said at the top of this video. It's one of the worst films I've seen in 10 years. This was bad. This was terrible filmmaking. It was written poorly. It was filmed poorly. The score was terrible. The acting was miserable. Again, not saying Denzel Washington can't act or that but I feel like he phoned it in, and I don't think he had much to work with. As far as everyone else goes, their acting just sucked. Everybody sucked balls. It was not a good film. I'm sorry. And then, I get caught up because I wind up going later to see, well, I wonder what everyone else is thinking. And right now, I think today I saw it's like 88% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, who's watching this shit and thinking this is a good picture? Then I got blowback from somebody on social media because I posted up about how bad this film was, and they gave me blowback about, oh, if this film fails, we fail as a people. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, sister, I'm sorry. This is not some political drama about the life of black people, and we're all going to suffer, and it's going to put us further back in society and take us back to the Jim Crow era if this film doesn't do well. This film sucked balls. If anything, this film brings us back. This film doesn't do us any good, and he should be embarrassed that he did it. I'm done ranting. This film was terrible. I'm actually glad that for whatever reason, the powers that be that run this simulation that we are in currently, I am glad that I didn't spend a dime to see this in the theater, and I didn't waste my time going to a theater, buying my popcorn, having my water and my Twizzlers, and watching this in the theater, because I would have been really, really pissed. Anyway, That Guy Talks Movies. Let me know if you've seen Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest down below in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm totally batshit crazy as usual, whatever it is. Let me know if you like the film. It is what it is. Like the video on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I do this. This is what I do. I talk about movies every now and then. I come back on here. Sometimes I'm very consistent. Sometimes I'm not. The people who have subscribed and stay with me and watch my videos and go ahead and comment, I truly appreciate you guys. This is for you. I will see you on the next one. Take care.